Welcome back. This is part 10. So this is the final video, the wrap up and final thoughts, where I'm just going to spend a few minutes really talking about my sort of general impressions of how the project went. Most of it's been covered in the other videos, but I'll just sort of summarize it here. So as you can see, the very final piece of the puzzle has arrived. That's the display case. So this is a toughened glass display case. The base plate there looks really big. Without the upper case in place, but it looks really good when it's all assembled. If I put it on now, all you would see is just reflections of me, so it's pointless doing that. But yeah, the case was made by James Pamplin, Immortal Cases and Displays, so I'll put a link in the video description. He does really good work and very reasonable prices, and I've used quite a lot of his cases for various things and personal projects over the years, and yeah, he's a really good guy and you get good service from him, so highly recommended. So my general thoughts on the project, most of it has been covered by the previous videos where I've moaned and whined about various things, but I think on balance the bottom line is yeah, I can understand why this kit is such an issue and has got the reputation that it has got, and it very well deservedly has earned that reputation. It is an absolute bear of a kit, not the easiest by any means. I certainly wouldn't recommend it if you were just starting to get into this hobby, because it is definitely enough to put you off. I knew it was going to be tough, but I wasn't quite expecting to have as many problems as I did have. Some of that is down to the stock kit. To be fair, a lot of it was down to the aftermarket parts and upgrade parts, which are supposed to make life a bit easier, but for various reasons, for the most part, they actually made it harder or were unusable. So, but I can't really blame the makers fully for those issues. I mean, I think some of it, particularly in terms of like the Power Graphics window template sets, I said right back in the early part of the project that they even weren't that accurate themselves. But I think you sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place with this kit, because it's so inaccurate straight out of the box. When you're trying to create templates to put windows in the right place, they'll look completely wrong even if they're in the right place, because the rest of the kit is so badly inaccurate. So I think there's a little bit of compromise going on there to get you a better representation, but obviously not accurate. This kit is never going to be accurate. You might as well just build one from scratch. So there's a bit of that going on. Like I say, some of the makers have had to compromise here and there, and I get that. So some of it can be excused. Having said that, a lot of it can't be excused, particularly with the decals. Like I was saying before, I think in the previous video, this the Enterprise, like the very focal, the main graphic, missing its red pinstripe, that's unforgivable. I don't know how that passed quality control even in the design stage, but you know, whatever. That's not for me to answer. That's down to HDA to answer that if they wanted to do so. But disappointed, I would say, with the aftermarket parts. But anyway, so the project itself covered quite a lot of different aspects and things, sort of techniques and processes, from strengthening things with armatures, modifying parts, correcting grid lines and the way I go about changing grid lines and things like that. Moulding and casting parts, which you don't see too much of with these sorts of video series. You don't see a lot of moulding and casting, so I hope that sort of opened some people's eyes to that world, because it's definitely a game changer and it's not as hard as you'd expect really once you get into it. What else did we cover? The pitfalls of LEDs and what to do if you have a failure inside the model, and you know, don't think that that's the end of the world. You can always cut back into it and repair it. Like I said at the time, these things are only bits of plastic, so don't be afraid of doing that. So I don't think there's much more to say at this point. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following along in the build series. I've shot some footage of the model in better lighting than this, to show it off a little bit better. Now bear in mind, as I said before, I'm not a cameraman, so it's not the best quality, but you know, I did my best with what I've got. So that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next project. Not sure what that'll be yet, but we'll find out together. So there we go. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.